going on. Spiritual Saturday Night Live. I wanted to come on impromptu because I wasn't really sure after my shower if I was gonna come on or just go to bed. But I kind of felt invigorated because I was like, you know what, I haven't caught up with my peeps, so here I am. And I can honestly say that this energy's been a little different. I'm always talking about the energy, you guys know. That's just my way, that's just how I do. So for myself in these last days, as you guys may know, and hi to everyone who is here, not here, may join in, may not join in. I'm Ashley, a higher self channeler. Nice to meet you if it's your first time seeing me. And for all of you guys that are joining me back in, hello, hi. I hope you're all doing well, doing swell, doing great where you are. And honestly, I can say that I really love everyone and I enjoy that everyone that comes and watches me, thanks for the love. And if you do like what I'm saying, please like, share, and subscribe. I need to get out of this small potato farm. So what I'm coming on today to talk about is because, as I said, the energy's been changing. I can honestly say in the last couple of days, I've been feeling like there's this overwhelming feeling, at least for myself, and I feel like those that are on the same path or on the same wavelength may feel this too. But I've been getting this like anxiety feeling, but not the bad kind. I've been getting like the good kind, the kind that makes you feel invigorated, the kind that makes you feel like pumped. For those that know, I've been going through some like home renovation stuff so I can get things going here. And I don't know if it was that's like invigorating me to get things done or whatever the case may be. But I can say this because I was on the phone with my friend yesterday and it overwhelmingly, she was like, what are you feeling these days? And I'm like, honestly, I feel like, the anxiousness you feel like when you're going to go tell someone you like them, or when you're like the baseball player that's got to go up to bat when there's already 2 outs, it's like you're nerve wracked, but you're like, if I crank that ball and it goes off, I might get the home runs that'll win the game type of thing. So I'm getting this like really pit in my stomach anxiousness, and it's been like that for about 2 or 3 days, maybe this last week, or more so the last days. And I felt like, hey, I'm gonna do an energy read, like I think it's necessary. But I wanted to talk about spirit, because it's the spirit within us that makes us feel this way. It's the spirit within us, or that feeling, because we do hear, we do see, and we do taste, and we do smell, and we have our tactiles, and we also have our intuition that comes from our gut. That's a very strong one, and that's the one I'm feeling right now. It's from the gut. It's like you ever like get into a place where it's like it's so anxiety ridden because it's so great that you might throw up. Or it's like you got told that you're gonna win this award, but you haven't gone to the procession to win the award yet. So it's like it's coming, but like you haven't gone yet, and it's gonna be like hella nerve wracking. And yeah, I don't know. That's simply what I have been feeling. So I had to like really put that out. And I wanted to really talk about spirit because, as I said in my last video, I feel like a lot of us are on this wavelength of hearing or feeling. And because we have all these senses, that is our way of intuiting the world, okay? Like we wouldn't have been given eyes to see, which has to do with light. We wouldn't be given, the chakra of the throat, taste, sound, etc., if it wasn't for that being something that we could anticipate or feel, and if it wasn't something that we could actually understand is a way to kind of intuit the world around us. Same as our hearing, clairaudience. So some of us might have these abilities, and maybe somebody is very quiet as a person and listens a lot. These are all parts of our senses that we also use when we are trying to intuit the world around us. Even though they're the simplistic forms of our intuition, they are still parts of our intuition. Like, is it like, why were we crafted this way? Why can we sing? Why can we harmonize? Why do we understand vibration? It's in our innate core. Okay, even if you're not a good singer, you can hum, and even if you can't hum, you could whistle. There's always a way that you will understand this harmonization of vibration. So that leads me to the talk about spirit. So I don't know if I'm going to start something like a spiritual Saturday Night Live ongoingly, because they don't go out much. So The Saturdays that I do go out, oh well, I won't do it, but maybe I'll do this and I'll pick a topic. So the topic I'm going to talk about is spirits, or those around us that are maybe feeling like we are sensing more than the average bear at this time. So a lot of us are doing meditation. A lot of us are getting into that like habit of doing this every day. And meditation doesn't have to be only sitting in a poised position by yourself for a long some time. Sometimes you can even like mini meditate when you're in traffic and your mind just goes off somewhere. Those forms of meditation do occur, or you could say it's trance, or you could say it's zoning out, but it does bring you to an elevated frequency or consciousness for that moment in time. So a lot of us are actually in this way of being. We're trying to meditate, we're trying to open that up. And the reason why we're doing that is so that we can elevate the consciousness. Now, when you elevate the consciousness by things like meditation, that's a different way of sensing the world that is not around us, but is an elevated version of another frequency or another dimensional state of being, if you want to put it that way. Because usually when you're meditating and you're elevating, like I said previously, like a minute ago, I was saying that we have ears, we have the throat, we have reverberation all through us. It's a form of sense that we already innately have. When you meditate, and you'll notice even when you use words like om, etc., those vibrations help you elevate. And when you feel that within yourself, when you meditate, you'll notice that there's a raising of a vibration within you. And that is something that happens, and you may even notice it when you're actually meditating, that you'll hear like a very high-pitched ringing. Now, some of us associate ringing with left or right ringing, which is also to give us a form of intuition about a situation, right? And that's not what I'm referring to. I mean like an actual humming or a vibrational sound that you're actually feeling. It's so faint for some of us. Sometimes we actually can feel it to our core. It just depends on the level of openness that you feel for vibration. So let's say, for example, if you're somebody that harmonizes, and I call it harmonizing at that frequency or that elevated consciousness, through meditation, you can perceive a different, not just consciousness, the consciousness will open up to imagination. The consciousness will open up to a different visual sense of self within this 3D existence. Even though you're sitting there, even though you're quiet, you're somewhere else. So that's a form of our intuition. We can actually go places when we meditate. We can go to different levels of consciousness. So it's a form of elevated, like travel in the sense of spirit. This whole conversation is going to be about spirit. So after about meditation, if you do understand harmonizing to a higher frequency or to a higher conscious state, you will understand that these senses that we have are very, very impactful. We can do a lot of things with them, even though they're the common everyday parts of ourselves that we don't really think about. So let's say, for example, let's scrap the whole thing about meditation and elevating to another frequency. What about the types of spirit that are around us in our modern day that we have to sense or can sense in our everyday lives? And now I'm talking about what you guys would say either spirit or ghosts. Let's just say those are 3D, those are tangible within this realm. And if you're somebody that doesn't believe in these things or have never had the impartments of actually being immersed in spirit, maybe you've only heard of stories where people are like, oh, you know, this place is haunted, or this place. The reason why it's important to even know what these energies are in your modern day is because it is an appearance, because we can even feel them on human people living right now. Why is it that when you go into a haunted place, let's say, for example, the hairs will go up on your skin? You'll get those goosebumps, you feel them, because we are made to interpret the energy around us. That is primary. And the thing is that in our modern day, everyday lives, we can feel that off of people as well. And that goes back to the gut, like I was saying. You can meet somebody and you automatically are like, ugh, I don't like this person. How is it that you're doing that? Do you know why you're even thinking that? Do you know why you're even saying it to yourself? You have no reason to be doing it, yet it's happening. So when you're dealing, let's say, with the spiritual world, the same applies. If you are in, let's say, somebody who wants to play around with this stuff, and I do not recommend this, but I would say some of us do have people who've passed on that we want to connect with. Some of us do have, let's say, spirits. Maybe we've interacted with spirits in our life. But the reason why we can actually feel them is because we can even do that with the humans living in this world right now. Energy does not die. Energy can stay. Now, for those of you, most of our passed on loved ones go to the other side. And that's the greatest part about it. Most of them go to the other side. Now, there are still some energies that get trapped here. That happens a lot. Hey, Anthony, thanks for coming on. I'm talking about spirit today. This is going to be the topic of the day. Now, if you're somebody who is interested in talking about spirits, or you're interested in talking about ghosts, or those that are moving to the other side or have been visited by the other side, please chime in. They just go on the ground 6 feet. That's all. I wish that was the case. I wish, from my personal experience, you might get into a war with me here, Anthony, but I personally have seen them in person many, many, many times. I've had to actually bring those from the other side to the light myself. I have had to interact with those that I want to call in loops. You can even meet those that are in spirit that are stuck in a loop. And what that means is that they're just seeing the same stage of time over and over and over again. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because not everybody doesn't see them. Some of us do see them. And some of us want to see them. And some of us think they just go in the ground and that's all. And that's the difference. It's like, I can honestly say, if you feel like that's it for you, I wouldn't open up the thought process to it. Because you have to be somebody that is very okay with sensing in the 3D before you would even want to breach to the other side. The other side is something where you use the common day senses you have right now and you just go to the next level. Meaning that it's like when you watch a scary movie, for some reason, your heightened senses come on, or what people would say spidey senses, you get more aligned because you're like in a place where you can actually think that there's possibilities of it opening. And that is the first key to it, because if you don't accept it, then most likely it's okay. That's fine. That's where you should be, because you're not somebody who wants to venture. But if you are somebody who wants to venture, you have them in your house right now, or you've engaged with them, or you've had them in dreams. Usually passed on loved ones come in dreams sometimes. This is something that, as we shift through our evolution of self, is another version of our actual insight that we can have in this everyday world. If you are somebody who does have spirits, I would honestly say a lot of the times, like I said, they're in loops. Sometimes loops can be where they're stuck in the same thing over and over again, and they will do it in, let's say if it's your work or your house and you engage with the spirit on the other side, they will be doing the same thing over and over again. They may not even see you. They will just do the same action over and over again. And if that is the case and you wish to expel them, they have to come to the reality that they're dead. A lot of them don't even know they're dead. They're just trapped in a time frame. It's kind of like when you're in a dream and you're doing the same thing over and over again in different places and times, and you're kind of lost and confused. That's how spirit feels once they've crossed over and they haven't gone to the other side. They get injured, they're confused, they don't know that they are passed on. So if you're somebody who has this interaction happening in your own home, let's say, or it could be, like I said, even at work, because I got a story like that for myself. When I kicked on the first time, I was working in a building where I kept seeing this guy who was like doing the same trajectory. He was in a factory setting. He looked like he had like an old like pair of overalls on and an old conductor's hat, and he would just walk through the wall, through the other wall, through the wall, through the other wall, and it was like he was just doing the same procession he did every day at work. And what ended up happening is that after seeing this entity just do the same thing over and over again, I realized that I was being asked to send them home, in a sense, because I could see them, and at points they could see me because I would call out to it all the time. So what ended up happening is I had to formally explain over time, of course, they had to realize that I was there, that I was something that was breaching their reality, because they see their world. They see their existence. They don't see the existence that you see. They're also in a different time most of the time. So if you do have these interactions, what I would say is the first thing you got to do is let them know that you're there, let them know that they are passed on, and let them know that it's okay to go. Because it's like you're convincing someone who has Alzheimer's that they have Alzheimer's. It's very hard to do. But the more you breach into their reality, they'll start to realize, oh my gosh, something's off. This loop that I'm seeing has got this weird divergent person constantly trying to tell me to go somewhere, and that'll open it up. Now, in the cases where these are not good entities, sometimes you will find a malevolent kind. I know a lot of people talk about the demons and all of that. That's not what I mean. There can even be those that, let's say, had a very traumatic death. There can be those that even had mental issues before they died. Sometimes you can run into those looped energies stuck in a place. Sometimes they have business that they want to finish. That's why they're stuck in a place. Sometimes it's just because they haven't succeeded at what they need to do. Maybe it's to say goodbye to somebody. Maybe it's to handle something. Maybe it's so that they can see something actually come to fruition before they pass on. Those particular energies are a little different than the ones that are in the time loop. They don't know what's going on in the time loop. But for those that stay past their point in time, that they should be staying here, they will actually be the ones that can shift things, turn on your radio, they can play with lights, they can do different cold spots. The reason being is because they're active energies. They're trying to fulfill something, and that's why you feel them so strongly, because they're actively like, I've got to fix this, or I've got to do this. Now, please know, those energies sometimes, if they don't fulfill what they're trying to fulfill, can become these time loops, versions of spirit. Because the thing is that once you pass on, you'll be given the light to go. You say no and you decide to stay, and or maybe you're just entrapped in a trauma or a mental illness before you passed away, and you'll still want to finish whatever it is that you needed to finish, or say goodbye to whoever you needed to say goodbye. And let's say, for example, that certain situation does not take place. That personal spirit can just get stuck and go into the time loop situation. But that takes time. Usually, if you do interact with any of those, the ones that can shift things, the ones that can move things, they're very active. What I would say is it's different than a time loop spirit, simply because they are more in the now. They are present. They just passed away. Their energy is very active, so you don't know what their emotional standpoint is. So what I would say in that case is that you have to subtly try to figure out, maybe if you're interested in doing some investigation, figure out maybe what they're trying to achieve. Now, if you're somebody who wants to play with Ouija boards, I do not recommend that. If you're somebody that wants to open up portals by using bowls of water or mirrors, I do not recommend that. This is not what I would ever recommend when dealing with spirits, because the thing is most likely you're going to call on a whole bunch of other things you can't handle. So what I would say, if you are someone who feels like you have all of these senses on, like I had talked about at the beginning, meaning your auditory, etc., meaning that you're somebody who has your throat, you know how to harmonize through meditation, etc., what I would say is that you could see from their actions, let's say they're trying to get your attention only in the household. There's no one else. Or maybe they're trying to target certain people in the house versus you. There's a reason. And if you are interested in investigating and following the patterns, you might be able to help this person pass on. So that's one thing I will say about that. I know this is a different topic. Not everybody's about this, but if you're somebody who is interested in knowing more about those that pass on, I'm talking about it because I have a lot of experience with it. I've seen many, many things in my time. I've had to, like I've said, bring those. I've even had those from the other side provide me messages in real time for people standing right beside me. And as embarrassing as it was, and as embarrassing as it could be, I didn't care because I knew so adamantly I could see them coming from the other side to impart the message. So people that have passed on, let's say to go to what you would call heaven, there is that, because I'll be honest, every time I saw the portal, or it's not a portal, it's like a merging of this existence with the opening. I don't know how else to put it. But when you see the world that they're in, most departed loved ones will always be like 30 years old. That's number one. They're never old. They're never in the way that you left them. They're not decrepit and sad. They're always happy, and they're always 30 years old or so, or at their best stage of life. You can pick whatever age, but they tend to usually pick 30. And the thing is that when I do see what's behind them, meaning like the vistas or whatever's behind them, it's never the same. So I do truly believe, based on everything I've seen, and this is not 2 times, 3 times, I'm talking more than 10, more than 20 times, I have seen this merging. And what I'm saying is that every time I see past the person coming through, it's always a different vista. It's always a different version of heaven, if you want to put it that way. If those persons come through, they usually just want to give a loving message to say that they're okay. They didn't have any bad blood, or they didn't have any unfinished business like the other spirits I was talking about. They solely want to just say hello, or I love you. And it's just because maybe you, as the person that I'm interacting with, really, really, really needs it. So if you are somebody who wonders about the other side, or wonders if their imparted loved ones go to heaven, I will say to you, yes. I have infrequently seen anything to any gravity that anyone goes downstairs. I think to go downstairs, you have to be really, really rooted in your decision. The leniency and the understanding of the soul is so much more broader than we give it credence for. More than the 10 commandments. It's like, you know how Yeshua says, love everyone and find compassion? I mean, to the nth degree. Like, it's like the most loving energy you could possibly ever feel. So the judgment is not as inflexible as it's made to seem. So when your loved ones are on the other side, they are in a place of true love, true light, true beauty. And when they do come through, that's all they're trying to do. Now, some of them, if you feel, because a lot of us will feel, like I've said at the beginning of this video, how we get in touch with this is learning our senses, our tactile senses, our sense of smell, our taste, our throat, our harmonization in our throat, our ears chiming into the vibration or the elevation you feel during meditation. This is how you can do it like in the 3D world easily, so that you can actually open up these senses to be even broader. And the reason why I say things like smell, because let's say you're somebody who misses somebody and you want to get in touch with them, okay? What I can say, and this is only for those that have passed on, and if they have not incarnated, I will say this: you could have them visit you in a dream, but the way you can connect with them on an easier level to bring, let's say, their essence towards you, or to let them know that you want to speak with them, would be if you have articles or photos, etc. of them. And let's say, for example, you were to sit with that photo or that item, and you were to think of a time that you and that person partaked in. Now, why I say all the senses are important, okay? If you're able to smell them, a cologne that they had, let's say they smoked cigars, a certain type of cigar. Let's say they just had a certain air about them, or maybe they always smelled like Downy. Whatever the case may be with that imparted loved one, the one that's passed on, the more senses you can tap into when you're actually honing in the thought of this person, it will actually bring forth that energy or that resonance to you, so that you can have that connection a lot easier. And I will say this, it could even be like you even eating the meal that they love to eat while you're doing this. All of these senses coming alive at the time is what I would say is the easiest way to get with a pass on loved one. And that's why I say don't deal with Ouija boards. That's why I say don't deal, because the thing is that is your soul's true connection with the spirit. When you use portals or Ouija boards, or let's say water bowls or mirrors, You don't know what's coming through. So I say do not use that at all. Use your senses that you have today, that you use all the time, including your gut, to open up to this ESP or to this other side or to spirit or to ghosts or to your past unloved ones. Because the more you can harmonize in the feel of that person, the taste of that person, the sight of that person, by memory, by hearing their voice in your mind all at the same time, you will call forth that essence to you. So I would honestly say that that's the best way I can impart how to do it. So with that said, that's my whole talk about the spirit world. And it all started because of that feeling I had from these last days. Because I feel like a lot of us are getting these heightened senses slowly. And I figured because the energy's been really, like I said at the beginning, for those that didn't join in earlier, this all started because I was saying the energy seems like everything's amped in a sense, like it's an anxiety, but it's like the good anxiety, like you're about to win a prize or you're about to hit that home run. You know, it's like bottom of the ninth, 2 out, and you're there with at bat, but you're like super anxious that you might just mess it up, but you think you're gonna win. That's the type of energy I feel like is going on. So I decided today I was gonna do the cards because I was like, so for those of you that don't like the cards, you can tap out now. I've been talking about spirit. One flew out. Hold on. Oh, Angel Gabriel blowing that horn. What? I love when I see Angel Gabriel. He's the throat chakra. He's about the truth. And he's usually the one who's telling something. And that's awesome, because I just said I feel like something's happening. Like I had encapsulated the energy, like when you are about to go tell somebody you love them, or you're about to go tell somebody you like them, that heightened anxiety, like you're almost about to throw up, but you know you're like dying to do it. That's kind of the energy I've been feeling. So I was like, I haven't felt this in a long time. I'm going to do the energy cards. But I hope you guys are doing well. I see that there's 2 people on today. If you want to say something, I was speaking about spirits. Oh, now there's nobody. Okay, wow, I just scared everyone off. Uh-oh. I guess I'll just do the energy cards by myself. Angel of balance again. And contract again. Okay, honestly, I feel like these cards are just following us. Except this time, it feels like Archangel Gabriel is actually announcing it. So that's fantastic. And I got nobody again. I feel like it's so scary for people to just jump in. I totally get it, because it's like, well, am I the only person here? I can't see who you are, by the way, unless you chime in. Oh my god. Anxiety. Wow. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, Archangel Gabriel, the angel of announcement, blowing the horn. You know what I mean? Is all about the announcement. And what is this announcement? That maybe we've balanced out. Okay, the angel of balance is here. We had this last week. This is tripping me out. And you know what we had last week too? We had contract, okay? And the thing is, like I said, the reason why I did the energy read in the first place, before the whole spirit talk, before the whole other side talk, was because I was feeling this anxiety, but I don't feel like this is the type I'm talking about. I'm talking about the anxiety of like hitting the winning, or getting the winning ticket, or like I said, hitting that last home run when it's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. It's like there's this anxiousness, but it's a good anxiousness. And I feel like it makes total sense, because who doesn't want a contract? Who doesn't want to be balanced? And who doesn't want it to all come through? Because I feel like Gabriel is actually saying, like, this is happening. This is it. The universe is decreeing it now. So I'm going to use the clarifiers. Hi, guys. I don't know who's on, but you're joining me for an energy read. I finished my talk about spirit. So if you do want to catch it on the flip side. But I talked about spirits. I talked about the other side. I talked about, because you know what, I did a poll, and it seems like people want to talk about spiritual phenomenon, and I do have a lot of experience with that, even though people may not think. I really truly do. So for Gabriel, we've got protection. That means total sense to me, because oh my gosh, protected by heaven. This whole contract and this a whole situation that we're going through with this contract is all protected by heaven. Because it's the same cards. That's why I ended up using different cards. Today I was using the mermaid dolphin cards just to change it up. Because I was like, how am I keep getting these same cards? I got to switch it up. Oh yeah, I know that one just flipped out weird. Anyways, I hope you guys are all doing well. It's Saturday, spiritual Saturday. And I felt like coming on before I went to bed. I just want to kick it with people. Because, you know, this is my Saturday night. You know, this is what I've been doing. I had a busy day. Me and my son went all over the place. We went to go see the train. We went to the pool. You know, we did a lot of stuff. Now, for the Angel of Balance here, I got explore your options. Nice. It's time to look at other possibilities of change. Ha ha ha. It's funny because I feel like a lot of us are changing at this point. And not like the normal change. I mean like the types of change where it's like we're okay with the change. We're actually like, this is what has to happen. So we're actually like motivated to go into it. And I feel like that's what this anxiety is talking about. It's the good kind of anxiety. It's I'm going on a roller coaster to the top of the peak and I'm going down. That's the type of feeling I'm talking about with the anxiety. It's not a bad one. It's a good one. That's the way I feel like the energies are really coming forth tonight. Whoa, you know what's funny? Here's contract, right? This is what I'm clarifying. And the clarifier says self-employment. Yes, guys. Oh, that's so awesome. I hope you guys are getting self-employed and taking back your own power to do your own thing. That's always awesome. Luck be a lady tonight, right? So that's what that card says. And I'm pulling the next one for anxiety, but the good anxiety. And then I'm going to do the whole read, but we'll see what pops out. But thank you guys for joining me Saturday night. And I feel it's getting hot. Yeah, I love you guys, and I just want to come on and say what's up. I did a live because I'm getting more used to this live ever since I got enough people to actually do lives. It's been fun. Sometimes I come on with the board, sometimes I just come to kick it. Maybe the Saturday night lives, like I said, the spiritual Saturday night lives, maybe I'll do topic by topic by topic just to like change it up. Today was spirit. Next week we might do something else, something specific. Maybe I'll do polls to see what you guys want to talk about. Because when it comes to esoteric things or anything of the other side, see, the anxiety says empowerment. That's what I mean. It's like the anxiety that I'm feeling anyways, and I don't know if you guys are feeling, it's like the good kind, like the kind you want. It's terrifying, but it's the good kind. I just dropped a card, so I'll be right back. So this is what I got. Archangel Gabriel is saying that he's here for protection. So that's the card we got for Angel Gabriel's protection. For the Angel of Balance here, we got explore your options, which means to make changes. And then for contract, which we kept seeing, these cards keep repeating. Contract is us getting into some form of self-employment, being an entrepreneur, starting a business. That's what this contract's about. And sometimes too, it can also be to do with love, because you know what? Sometimes that comes into play, but I think in this particular situation, it's because you're getting self-employed and going after what you truly want. And like I said, my personal feeling is that this anxiety is the positive kind. It's the kind that you want to feel. I know she looks really sad, but she's thinking a lot. But I also feel like she does look like she's sad in this one, but that doesn't feel like what I'm getting. Because I feel like I'm seeing this like lightning here, and it's like that's the illumination that I'm getting from the anxiety is like, and then with the empowerment card to actually tie it in, it kind of makes sense to me, because it's like, see how she's illuminated? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, she seems sad because the anxiety she may not understand right now, but I can honestly say she's like the lightning here. It's like it's an illuminary type of anxiety, because all this new stuff is going to be happening. It's like, so Gabriel's out to blow the horn. He's basically saying it's been decreed through the universe. This is what's going to take place for you. I don't know who in the collective is going through this, or how many of you in the collective is going through this energy read of the week. But no matter what, just know that Gabriel, as he's pronouncing this to the universe, there's a form of protection that is covered by heaven. You know, like how beautiful is that? Like the angel protecting kind of makes sense, right? And then the Angel of Balance is here. And if you look at the Angel of Balance, there's like this very secret, like, understanding of the universe. It's like as if what she's holding is like a globe or like a universe within a marble type of thing, and she's overlooking it, basically saying, yes, this is all balanced within oneself. And what's so great about it is that it's here to say, like, it's okay. Like, I kind of feel like it's funny because my favorite, I love turtles, right? And this little girl is going towards a turtle, and in a sense she's like free flowing, and she's going into this change of possibility, but it's not something that I feel like she's not accustomed to. She's like actually gravitating towards. So I feel like to explore your options in this time of balance is probably the best time to do this, because that might be why your contract is coming in for the first time. You're like, I'm ready to be self-employed. I'm ready to go after this contract. Maybe it's a contract with yourself, a contract with a client, it's a contract with a, let's say, some type of like contract to work or freelance. It could be something like that. And I think that's what's happening here, because self-employment is kind of direct. And the thing is, the last 3 weeks we kept getting contract. One version was marriage, the other one was about business and marriage. Now this one's just talking about self-employment. So maybe somebody's going to offer you a chance at self-employment, or so that you can manage your own life within your own way. I don't know, but it seems like if you've been feeling anxious about this, or you've been feeling, because I feel like this is the last thought. Like I said, this lightning here of illumination that she's not really seeing. She's not seeing the lightning. She's not seeing the beauty of the lightning. So it's like, in a weird way, she's like being anxious for nothing. You know what I mean? Because it's like she's in a stage of illumination here for empowerment. So it's like, it doesn't matter, he, she, whoever, right? It's not like I'm being specific with genders here. It just happens to be a lot of women. The only one that isn't a woman is Angel Gabriel here, who's blowing the horn. So what I can say through all of this is like, this level of protection that you yourself, whoever this message is for, are getting at this time is quite profound. Because the thing is like when Gabriel blows a horn, that's a huge shift, that's a huge change. That's not just you postulating, that's like everything lining up for you within your actual view of being, because it's like decreed, it's like set out, there's no taking it back, this is done. And it's like, whatever this is, you're protected no matter what. Like right here, it's like, it looks like a mother taking care of her child. Do you know how much protection that is? Like a mom will let nothing happen to their child. So I'm just saying, that's a lot of protection you've got going on. And this angel of balance and finding this, exploring the options, is so in alignment with what's next with this contract and self-employment. So what I'm saying is that I don't know if somebody's just had to get to a place of balance within themselves to be okay with whatever's coming for them. But you may be feeling really anxious about this opportunity. You may not be seeing the lightning in the sky illuminating for you, but you will start to see that you are illuminating, and this sense of empowerment is coming to you, through you, and it's going to be a new way of being. So I think this read is a little different, thank God, because the last several weeks it's been the same thing. But it seems like whoever this is, you're going to be going into something fantastic, and it's going to be well protected. And the anxiousness you're feeling, if maybe I've been feeling anxious too, because I know as an empath, I also have to transmute things for a collective here. It's not just for myself, it's for others around me. And maybe a lot of people in my familia here, or anyone around me, is actually feeling the same way. So maybe I'm just feeling it so that I can help transmute it and push it through, and I could be part of this protection and this, help, you know what I mean? But thank you. I really appreciate. This has been a lovely Saturday. As I said, I was talking about my spiritual Saturday Night Live today, about spirit, about the other side, about ghosts also, about departed loved ones. And maybe next week I'll do a poll, and I'll see if you guys want to talk about a certain topic, because like I said, I do know a lot about the spiritual side of things. That was what you guys chose on the poll. There was about 6 or 7 of you that adamantly chose spirituality and spiritual occurrences and phenomena. So that's why I chose to talk about ghosts and spirits and those passed on, because it was what you guys asked for. So I'm going to poll again and see what you guys want next week. But I love you guys lots, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And thank you, Anthony, if you're still here, for chiming in. You're the only one brave enough to do so. And I thank you because you know what? All of your love and support is what keeps me going. And I hope my love and support is what keeps you going. And I hope you have a great one. Love you lots. Have a good weekend. Bye. Oh my gosh, my friend's texting and I'm trying to end this. She like texted right at the time I'm trying to press the button. So good night, guys. I love you.